What would you say to those who believe that psychedelics would be the only way to cure them of their depression, or some that say that's the only way to experience God, that's the only way they've seen God, and that's how they know God's real?
How do they know it's God? You know, a psychedelic would be a drug, so that's going to alter your mind. That's not a clear way of recognizing anything that's objective in the real world. That's going to set your brain off in different chemical reactions to produce those kinds of thoughts. So that wouldn't be God. That might give you some sort of internal high of some kind, but that wouldn't necessarily be God. I mean, how would they know it would be God?
Well, I've said to them that I don't believe our God would make it to where the only way you can experience Him or get to know Him is through a mind-altering drug.
Yeah, and in fact, if the scriptures are true, they didn't have psychedelics, right? They had some sort of connection with God and wrote down what He wanted them to write down. So, yeah, I might, you know, the only passages we could talk about where the passages about alcohol don't get drunk, right? It doesn't say don't drink at all, it says don't get drunk. And then the passages about Paul talking about pharmakeia, and he talks about let's make sure that we are high on the Holy Spirit, for lack of a better term, not all these different kind of drugs. That wouldn't be the way forward, because you lose your ability to make moral choices when you take drugs to an extent that it impairs you.
Well, those that would use it for depression would say, well, there's antidepressants and there's proof that a psychedelic has cured depression.
Well, if that were indeed the case, then that would be given under the care of a doctor. And if that does cure them, if they have some sort of chemical imbalance, that would be for the medical profession to try and discover. But that would be very closely monitored and measured. It's not, let's do acid on Sunday night. No, right?